Pregnancy and Infant Loss Remembrance Day happens to be today. I was listening to a podcast and they were talking about October 15th, and then I looked at my phone and it was October 15th. I was like, oh, perfect. And the podcast was talking about how everyone's gonna gather. By everyone, I mean everyone who wants to commemorate this. So they're gonna light a candle at 7 p.m. And even though I don't feel like lighting a candle is gonna directly help me not have a future loss, it is something to commemorate my loss, apart from the tattoo. I went to the clinic downstairs and I did a blood test this morning. She didn't take the vein from the middle, she took it from the side. Hurts a little more, but I'll only get the results on Tuesday, so stay tuned for that. So I was really excited about the high HCG for maybe an hour, and then I started wondering, what if it's too high? Is there a problem if it's too high? And then I went down a rabbit hole of a Google search, and I wish I didn't do that, but I did that. And apart from having multiples like twins and triplets, high HCG can indicate molar pregnancy, or there might be an increased chance of Down syndrome. Why did I Google that? Now I worry, and I don't even know what the benchmark is for high, because every chart is different and they usually just give you specific numbers for week 4, week 3, week 5, but not like the specific day, like 11 days post 5 days transfer. So it is hard to tell which day would be considered high, and some of the charts are showing like I'm 2 times higher than what the maximum would be. Some charts are showing I'm really low, so I have no idea, no clue. We have decided that I shouldn't be bouldering until at least a week 6 scan, and that will mean 3 weeks of not bouldering. So last week when I didn't go, Amit came up with some reason like, oh, she fell badly on her ankle, so she didn't come this week. Then I was like, you didn't even tell me that that was the thing you said, but now we have to use that as the reason. So this week's reason is just that my ankle hasn't recovered yet, but I don't think an ankle is going to take 3 weeks to recover, because there's still another week before the scan. I don't know, my current excuses are that I have to go for a wedding that Amit doesn't want to attend. That seems like the easiest one so far. But then I listened to another podcast about staying active during pregnancy, and I already know all the stuff, but I was just hearing it again that reminded me, if I was already doing all these things before pregnancy, then it should be fine to do during, with the exception of sports that make you fall or bump your bump, which I don't have yet. So I could still just be really careful and do top rope. I don't have to abstain from it. We were just being extra careful because we went through a loss, and this seems like the only thing that could have been the reason for the loss, but technically it wasn't. I know it wasn't. Amit knows it wasn't, but we just wanted to feel like we did everything possible. I also went to get some prenatal vitamins. Amit came up with a list. Actually, I got him to do some research for me on the prenatal vitamins, and the list had so many things. I'm already currently taking folic acid, iron pills, evening primrose oil, omega-3, and Progenova. And so today, for a whopping $94, I've gotten calcium and vitamin D, the B50 complex, a little bit more folic acid, which I'm confused about because I don't know how much we're supposed to take, and the recommended looks like 900 mcg, but the doctor already prescribed me 5,000, and this one's another 300, so I don't know what's going on there. And I also got vitamin C. So these are all the things that I'll be taking daily. I'm already taking so many, it's like full, but let's see how I can add in the things. These are the pills I gotta take at night. Okay, it fits in this one. I need to find 6 more of these. I just went to the doctor to check my HCG levels and it's so high. Oh my god, your face is not even in the...
That's great. Damn. Okay. Noise.
Man.
No, because I remember you were saying you on Monday. And then Monday is in triple.
figure out the in-between days HCG formula since it's supposed to double every 2 days. But how do I calculate the one in the middle? It's not simply just like half of this or whatever. So after getting some of Amit's help, he has created the formula and he's about to explain it to us. Do it over here. So how do I calculate day 22?
Okay, so basically 22 minus the first 11 days.
Wasn't it a 2 in front first?
Yeah, okay. But it's 2 to the power of the 22 days
Okay, the
minus
power.
11 days.
22 minus
11.
Uh-huh.
So it's 2 to the power of 11 times the principal amount, which is 427. Lor.
And if this is correct, it will darken this line exactly where it's supposed to be. Wow. No, it's not it. That's not it at all. You missed something. You missed divide by 2.
Yes, correct. Divide by 2 because right, it's every 2 days, not every day. It doubles every 2 days.
Oh shit. Once again.
Okay,
There we go.
There we go.
Wonderful. Math genius.
Not very good at explaining math,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Not good at explaining, but got the formula in the end. This is the result slip so far, the line progression. So you can see the second line is slowly getting darker. And I've written here what day post-transfer it is and the HCG that correlates with the stick. I would have loved to get another blood test done today because I love looking at data. But each blood test costs like $80-$90. So I can't afford that. I also came across a post on one of the fertility apps. Someone asking others if their HCG has also tripled after a miscarriage or a loss. I was thinking, oh, it's interesting that could be me. That could be the reason why it's tripling. But it got me thinking anyway, if I had twins, would I want another one? Because I always went into this journey expecting to be pregnant twice, as in 2 successful times where I birthed children or a child. But Amit seemed to be in shock with that idea, and I reassured him that we don't have to have 3 kids. Like 2 is what we discussed and 2 is fine for now. I'm not deciding anything, and neither should he, because we could change our minds in the future, and I want to keep our embryos for that, even if it means paying more of the annual storage fee, because what if we want more? But for now, I'll be very happy with just 1 child. So let's talk about symptoms. I've been very tired, as you can tell from my face right now. Every time I try to stand up, I'm tired. When I sit down, I realize how tired my legs are. And yet, I've done 10 to 12k steps in the past 3 days, just circumstantial steps. I also feel nauseous, mostly in the morning, which I guess is morning sickness, but it's not to the point of vomiting yet. I feel like I would feel better eating things, so I get things to eat, and then for the first 2 bites it feels like, okay, the nausea's leaving, and then 2 bites later it's coming back and I can't eat anymore. So then I'll just leave the food for later, which in turn makes me feel like I'm not eating enough. I get hungry more easily, and it also comes with a feeling of heartburn. And the heartburn makes me also feel like there's nothing in my tummy and I want to eat more. But I know that this is not the time in the pregnancy where I'm supposed to be eating for 2 or just eating more yet. But if I'm hungry, I'm just gonna eat. That's been my mantra for a couple of decades. So I'll just do that. Another symptom that I forgot to mention is insomnia. I've been trying to sleep from 12 a.m. to 8 a.m. every day. And so far, the sleeping at 12 has been successful, but I have been waking up at 7 a.m., 6 a.m., 5 a.m. and finding it really hard to fall back asleep. So I am exhausted on top of the many steps I'm taking in the past 3 days, and the lack of afternoon naps because I just have things happening in the afternoon, and I also have to do the pessary, and then I just don't take a nap. I need to start scheduling in naps on my work from home days. I'm in the office for the first time while doing the pessary, and I found a quiet little room. Laptop's on the floor because I'm gonna lie on the floor for 30 minutes while I do this. I realized how dusty the floor is. The room looks fine if I don't really look at it, but while lying on the floor, it was just every inch was filled with a layer of dust, and I couldn't like get up to move to the other side because the spotlight was shining on me from the top. So I shimmied 180 degrees to hide my eyes under the table, and I picked up so much dust on my back just from doing that, but it was worth it for my eyes. I will just maybe next time bring some tissue to clean the dust off the floor first. Today at work, I had to figure out what to eat for lunch. There wasn't a salad, and I felt like that would be really suspicious because I almost never fail to buy a salad for lunch. But it was a hot day, so I went somewhere nearer than I would to get the salad. It was a hot soup, but it was a hot day. It didn't really make sense. I got the soup and I convinced myself that the soup was really nice, and I think I have convinced my colleagues that I really like that soup because it is a shorter walk than the walk to the salad place, even though the soup was so hot on a hot day and I was sweating the whole meal. But if that's what it takes to throw them off the scent that I'm pregnant, I will have that hot soup to also keep my womb warm. Update on my colleague who told us they were 3 months pregnant. They are about to hit 21 weeks, the halfway mark. That's so exciting. I'm so jealous. But not that jealous anymore because I'm also pregnant. Yay. I'm so ridiculously tired, my eyes are closing. But I'm revenge procrastinating because now's the time I don't feel nauseous, and I know that when I sleep and I wake up again, I will be nauseous again. And I'm just really enjoying the time that I'm not nauseous. But I'm not enjoying the time that my eyes can't be open anymore. I was kind of nauseous most of the week, but then in the past 2 days I felt fine. And feeling fine meant that I felt anxious because I wasn't feeling symptoms. It's a bit scary to not feel symptoms, because what if I'm not pregnant anymore? What if the HCG level is declining and we have another loss? So I asked on one of the apps if people get morning sickness every single day or do they get off days from the symptoms. And luckily, I think about 2/3 responded that they get off days, so I'm a bit more at peace. It seems like what I want is pain. I don't technically want pain, but I feel like feeling nauseous is the way to know that the pregnancy is working out. Kind of twisted. But tomorrow we will have the next blood test, and if my calculations are right, we should be around 7,000 HCG, which would be enough to see something on a scan. So I also want to request an ultrasound scan since I'm 5 weeks. I know I only got to see the ultrasound the previous time at 6 weeks, and maybe that's how public hospitals do it, but I want to see it. If I request for it and I'm willing to pay for it, I think they would let us do it, but let's see how it goes. We're here so early that there's nothing. They're serving nobody right now. Seats are empty. We are back from the week 5 blood test. I asked if we could get an ultrasound as well, but the nurse said the only way to do that is to get a consultation with the doctor, pay for that, and then maybe get the ultrasound. So never mind. The other way is if I think it's an ectopic pregnancy and I'm having cramps or bleeding or something, then maybe I could get it. Otherwise I just gotta wait until next week. The other thing is that I asked for some anti-nausea pills, and then she told me you also have to see the doctor and pay for the consultation fees to get the pills prescribed. Fair, but at the same time, my next doctor's appointment is only in 2 weeks, and they can't bring it forward because all the doctors in the IVF clinic are on leave. So no matter what, I will have to pay a first-time consultation fee just to get freaking anti-nausea pills. Doesn't make sense. So I'll probably just get it at the GP instead. The ultrasound is on 27th October, and then the consultation is on 6th November. Not even the next week, the next week, because the doctors are on leave. I sound like a workaholic. I mean, of course the doctors can take leave. But it's just the crucial appointment for us, man. Might not be crucial for other pregnancies, but this is crucial for us. We want to know.
She's definitely a lot more impatient than I am.
Ahmed doesn't care about when he gets the news.
It's like if I have to wait a week. Okay, I could wait a week. Because in my mind, we've already done it. It's just another procedure we have to do. You're already pregnant and it's done.
Done what?
You're pregnant and the baby's gonna happen.
I've manifested it.
Because you thought that the last time?
It's different. I manifested it damn strongly this time. It's done, I believe. So I guess we wait another week, whatever. We have 9 months of this anyway.
So we also have a KKH appointment because I wanted to see if I like KKH better. And that appointment happens in between the ultrasound and the SGH appointment. So maybe we'll bring the scans to KKH and see what they say. Obviously they don't know our history and everything and they'll take a long time to get through, but hopefully there's something useful so I can stop being anxious.
So anxious all the time.
Yeah, being in a public hospital is not helping. I don't even know if being in a private hospital will help. That's why there's no point. I just went to pee and there was some brown cervical mucus on my panty liner and that freaks me out. Freaks me out even more because the next doctor's appointment is only in about 2 weeks, in half a month, because the doctor's on leave. So I'm trying not to freak out. Maybe it will just disappear on its own, hopefully. Or I could try and hope to get an ultrasound in the GP. Do they even have that equipment? Today is week 5, day 5. I have food poisoning from the egg I made this morning, probably not as cooked as I would like. And I was getting stomach aches in the afternoon, had a little shit. It wasn't diarrhea yet, but there was still a lot of aches in my stomach. And I've taken charcoal pills. I couldn't really finish my lunch, or I didn't even eat half of it. This is piling on top of the morning sickness I already have. So I can't tell if I'm nauseated from the pregnancy or from the food poisoning. It's all jumbled together. And I've read that if I get a fever, it's gonna be pretty dangerous for the baby and me. Mostly for the baby because there'll be some neurological defects, like twice as likely. I really wish I could get a scan today, but I feel like if I go and request a scan, if it's already gone, then it's gone. There's nothing else I can do today that would make it better, except try to get myself better at home. Because if they send me to get some medication and it takes another hour for me to queue for the medication and come back, I might as well just do that at the GP. And I've already done a consult with the tele doctor, and under what you should do it says get well soon. Well, thank you very much. So I'm just waiting it out and hopefully I feel better later in the day. This is my 5th time, I think it's the 5th time on the toilet bowl today trying to poop. And I had 2 charcoal pills earlier in the day, but they weren't working at all. Then I got the charcoal pills from White Coat and I took it. 15 minutes later I had to shit. I came in here with diarrhea and then I felt really faint. Even putting my head on the wall didn't work, so I called Amit. And the next thing I knew, my phone was on the floor. Apparently I dropped it. And then I also just started vomiting and having diarrhea at the same time. So gross. So before the vomit started, I was trying to clean my ass and get out so I could lie on the bed because I needed some lying down. And then I just collapsed on the floor halfway because my ass not even wiped properly. And I had to come back here. Amit had to bring me back here because I said I needed to shit some more. And then it came out from 2 holes at the same time. But right after that I felt a lot better, but still gross. I just cleaned the toilet a little bit as well. I hope that's the end of the food poisoning. While I was wiping, I realized I was spotting again, and this time there's a bit more blood. Doesn't look like fresh blood, but it's blood. And I'm scared that this episode is going to cause a miscarriage. But priorities, I have to get well first. I feel a lot better today, but I also just went to the doctor again, the physical one, to see if they could do any tests that the tele-consult app couldn't do. He just felt my stomach a little bit, just a lot of bloat, a lot of pain. Gave me some probiotics that is not covered under my insurance. Some this thing for abdominal discomfort. There's also pills for diarrhea, vomiting, and everything else, but I think I'm taking too many pills already, so I'm just gonna take these 2. It was really hard to do my psychologist yesterday because I didn't know if I was gonna feel like having explosive diarrhea at any point in the 30-minute wait, and I also didn't know when to take my Progenova in case I felt like throwing up, but we got through the night. Ooh, I think I've done a good job in not worrying too much about the baby while I'm having my food poisoning. I may vocalize it a bunch, but internally I think I've been worrying about 20 times less, so that's good. I also went to the office today despite still feeling like crap because I wanted to collect my iPad that was being repaired nearby. I wish I didn't, but I got the iPad, so I guess it's worth it. Still pooping out weird shit. And the nausea today is so bad. It is so bad. I don't know how much worse it's gonna get in the next few weeks. I don't know how I'm gonna go to Melbourne like this. I really hope I can go to Melbourne. I don't know how I'm gonna boulder this weekend if I go. I've cancelled 3 days of evening plans because I feel like this. Of course, also from the food poisoning, but how many more days of plans can I cancel before people start worrying? The nausea's getting worse. I woke up today and tried to snooze my alarm, but I already felt the nausea while being in bed, which isn't usual for other days. Other days I usually get up and then I feel it, but today I felt it while I was in bed, so I couldn't continue sleeping. Ahmed has gone down to buy me some dim sum, easy to chew things for me to eat. Still not puking. I still hope it doesn't get to that. This thing that my colleague bought for me has been helping. Look at the tiny little smiley face there. Yeah, it's been helping a bit, but I don't want to smell it until I become an addict. And I'm also really happy to have IVF friends who can tell me how to alleviate the nausea. They're sending me products to buy and everything, telling me exactly which flavors work the best. It helps so much to know that there's a community of people that can help me, that are not technically my real life friends, so I don't have to worry about telling them too early, because they all understand what we're all going through. And I hope that I can get some of this medication ASAP. Apparently the nausea medication that my doctor prescribed me wasn't the best one. I need diclectin or something. So I'm gonna go to the GP and try getting that again today. Apparently that helps a lot more. I need the best one. This hurts so bad. Well, by hurt I just mean I can't stand without feeling okay. And I want to be okay. I want to move and go for things. I've been cooped up in the house for 3 days now because I can't move without feeling terrible. Okay, I did go to the office. Like, I'm gonna stop. Those are the little diclectin pills with a pregnant woman on them. How specific.
And then I add bread, potato oils, oils. Oh, I get microwave.
I was just thinking about... What was I thinking about?
A lot of things. What do you refer to?
I was thinking about how much FOMO I have because I keep cancelling hangouts because of the nausea. Can't even eat my omelette. I'm just eating my omelette like right now. But I managed to buy some diclectin from another lady. It's so hard to find. It's like contraband. So hopefully when I take it tonight, I'll feel better tomorrow. And all this will be a joke. A really bad joke.
Hopefully this is the worst of it. Then you'll be fine tomorrow. And then you'll go bouldering on Sunday. Maybe even your party tomorrow.
Today we might get to see the heartbeat.
Heartbeat. Yeah, boy!
Hope to see something on the ultrasound.
Yeah.
For the first time. That's the baby.
Teared up a little bit when I first saw it. It really happened. So we have a baby. Madness. Really tiny. There's a healthy yolk sac. It's great.
It's 3 millimeters. Heart is beating at 113 BPM.
Which is very healthy. Above 100 is healthy.
I feel like crap.
Yeah. So we got her some soup spoon. She almost felt like she was gonna puke in the hospital just now. Had to get herself a waffle.
She can faint at the same time.
She's very tired today.
We saw the doctor so I could get some anti-nausea meds. And my next appointment is in 10 days. But I paid the extra consultation fees just so he could prescribe me 7 days of medication. Not even 10 days.
Yeah. So lucky we have that medicine from the other nice lady.
Stash of contraband. I've been cancelling plans for 5 days now.
my theory of why she's so like extra tired is because of the diclecting that she started yesterday night. Because it's a delay release medicine, which means it doesn't all come at one go, so it comes in phases, which is why it's constantly keeping her drowsy, I think.
I'm still nauseous, so it's not really helping.
Let's hope it gets better over time.
Oh.
Also happy just now, I almost cried. Teared up a little bit. Got a bit of sniffles. What's happening? What do you have to say about these symptoms that you were looking forward to?
Yay. Symptoms.
Feeling the pregnancy, yeah? Happy, yeah? Okay.
Ahmed has left and he'll be away for like 2 days for sleepovers. So I have to feed myself now, which is a normal thing that adults do. But Ahmed has been buying food for me and thinking about my meals. So I'm handicapped right now. Luckily, there was some Thai fun that he got me yesterday that I couldn't take at all. So I'm gonna have the Thai fun in mini portions now because I get hungry every hour and I need to find food that I can stomach every single hour until I sleep, I guess. This is a nightmare, but it'll be worth it. I feel very lonely today. I'm at home alone. Ahmed's gone to play with his friends and I just found out that I'm spotting again. It's more blood than yesterday. And I'm still nauseous. I signed up for yoga class and I've been trying to hype myself up to go the whole week, but because of how nauseous I'm feeling, I don't feel like going for it. I feel like my life is gone and I'm barely there. It feels like I'm so weak. This isn't even the worst yet and I'm already feeling like this. And at some points I wish I wasn't pregnant, which makes me feel so ungrateful because we've been trying for over a year to get to this point and I'm just feeling like shit. I feel so weak because I told myself I could get through anything that pregnancy throws me, but I've barely been pregnant and I really feel like giving up. The child is not even here and it feels like my life is gone. I've been staying at home the whole week. I can't go out and do things. I feel pathetic. I feel like if this bleeding led to a miscarriage, I might prefer that because I want the symptoms to go away. Ooh, what's a loss? Sounds so cruel. I finally went bouldering again today and I did a 10 at BFF, which I've never done before. I didn't really climb as much, but I managed to get quality over quantity today. I think I would have usually climbed more, but it's okay. I didn't want to overexert myself. I was also bleeding a lot more than yesterday and I had to swap to a pad instead of a panty liner, so I'm not sure what that means. It's still not fresh blood. It's actually blackish. So hopefully that is the vanishing twin syndrome that we assume it is. I still get the nausea and everything. I had a super long day, but I managed to get through it with the nausea. And I find it ironic that the anti-nausea meds always have to be taken on an empty stomach when I shouldn't be on an empty stomach because eating food helps me to keep the nausea away. So I don't exactly know when to take the pills, but I just take it with some food in my stomach anyway and hope for the best. It has not been the best. We have made it to week 7 painfully, and this week they say that our baby is the size of a blueberry, a small one, so that is what I'm assuming it is. I just ate our baby. The past week's symptoms feel like I'm always nauseous, or even when I'm not nauseous, it feels bad because it feels like there's indigestion and there's something up here in my chest holding me down or weighing me down. It could also be that I feel all the time like I haven't slept for 24 hours, even though I'm sleeping 12 hours in the night from 9 p.m. to 9 a.m. and then sleeping after breakfast, after lunch and after dinner. I don't even know why I'm still sleepy. Of course, the blueberry, but it's so tiring to feel tired all the time. And I've taken so many nausea remedies. I'm still waiting for the sweets to come that I've gotten a colleague to order, but I didn't tell her there was any rush because I didn't want to be suspicious. I hope those come soon. I hope those are 100% cure for me, because I still haven't found what works for me, and maybe it's because I'm not trying too many things at a time, because I'm not a foodie. I'm not really exploratory with my foods. Ginger tea isn't really working out for me. Maybe it is, but I hate ginger so much that drinking ginger is already hurting my soul. I've been so down this week that I felt like I might be going down into a depression spiral, and my therapist is on holiday, so I'm a bit lost for the next 2 weeks until she comes back, and then I'm going overseas, so a bit hard there. But I'm trying to focus on solutions. I know my therapist says to focus on soothing myself, but my solutions always come first, and if I have solutions, then I feel better. I'm very happy that I have such a supportive husband, because for me, solutions means talking about what would happen in the worst case scenario, and in the worst case scenario, I would want to have an abortion to stop feeling all these symptoms, because I don't know if I can handle it for the whole pregnancy if I am the worst case scenario person that gets the symptoms throughout the pregnancy. And that is my worst case scenario. I know I feel really ungrateful even thinking about it. It's such an intrusive thought because of how much money we spent doing IVF, how many months we've tried endlessly without getting pregnant, and then we finally get pregnant, and this one is finally sticking so far, and I want an abortion. Of course I don't want it, but that is how terrible the symptoms have been making me feel, for me to think of that as even an option right now. And of course I really don't want to go there. I'm still taking it day by day, but I have to be honest about how I feel in this vlog, because that is the reason I'm putting it out. And most of the symptoms I hear people having, they're usually talking about it after their first trimester, and they already feel better. So when they talk about it, they're always talking about, yeah, I was puking for 20 weeks and all that, but the way they say it is like, it's over, I'm done, doesn't matter anymore. I'm not really hearing them talk about it while it's happening, so then they're not really in the thick of it. So I know that my symptoms right now may feel like the worst thing I've ever felt, and I know it might get better and I might forget about it in the future, but this is exactly why I want to talk about it now, because I don't want to forget how terrible I'm feeling in the moment in case I decide to do this again in the future. And I want to take myself seriously. My feelings about these symptoms are valid, and I don't want to dismiss them. And if you're watching this and you're also in your first trimester and you're feeling freaking terrible with your symptoms, you're not alone. I found a lot of support talking to a friend about it from one of the fertility support groups. She's in the same week as me, and she's also had these intrusive thoughts about wanting an abortion, or just simply like, if it happens to be a miscarriage, then so be it. We wouldn't be that sad about it, because at least we're finally not going to feel the symptoms anymore. And we hate thinking like that. We know that we've spent so much money, we spent so much time and effort doing all this, but these are the thoughts in our heads, and it feels like we're ungrateful. I feel guilty thinking about it, but I know it's valid, and that's why I have to say these thoughts out loud. I'm taking it day by day, and I really hope that the next time I'm filming a video like this, I don't feel the same way, and then I feel better, and it was just a mindset thing. I'm trying very hard to make it just a mindset thing and to get it out of my mind. I am at some points gaslighting myself to saying that I feel well, even if I'm not. Sometimes I do a reset. I think maybe I've been thinking that I feel terrible for too long, and maybe I don't actually feel terrible. So let me stop and think and actually do a body scan of how my symptoms actually feel right now. Most of the time it's still there. Maybe like 1% of the time I'm actually fine. And then I tell myself I'm fine and to enjoy this moment of fineness. But for the most part, I am not fine. And I hate being sleepy all the time. I hate not being able to say yes to plans because I don't want to cancel at the last minute if I feel terrible. I've always been someone who's been planning ahead 4 weeks, 8 weeks. Like 3 months in advance, I have my schedule packed and ready. And this is really hard for me to not even have solid plans on the week itself, just in case I have to cancel. Last week I could still say that it was the food poisoning because I actually had food poisoning. But food poisoning doesn't last that long, and people are gonna figure out something's wrong with me. So this week I really have to pick and choose my plans. I'm trying not to cancel on anything. I'm trying to just go for it, and hopefully the socializing helps me to forget and it distracts me a little bit from the symptoms. Yeah, but I also don't want to force myself to go for things if I feel freaking terrible. For myself and for everyone else out there feeling like crap in your first trimester. We can do this, and if you don't want to do this, your body, your choice. Don't force yourself. I'm not a pro-life or a anti-life person. Just do what's best for you, and I'm gonna do what's best for myself. I haven't tried Mr. Coconut since this cycle began, so I'm not sure if it will make me nauseous or not. That's why I brought it home to try it in case I got nauseous outside. Moment of truth. Seems good. I can drink coconut. Okay, so I specially bought this face soap because it has pregnancy-safe ingredients. But it's just starting last week, I couldn't stand the smell of it. I don't know what it is, the avocado or the honey. I can't stand the smell of it, so I'm back to using what we've been using before. I shared this with Amit. I know there's one ingredient that's not safe, but at this point, everything I find seems to be unsafe. Since it's something I put on my face and wipe off immediately after, I'm just going to use it. The other thing that is something I can't stand the smell of is the body soap. And I'm a little bit lazy to get new body soap because this one's quite full. So every time I wash my body, I mute my nose. I just don't smell it until I wash everything off, and then it's fine. So that's how I've been going about showering. Here are some other products that I cannot stand the smell of. My deodorant, brightening powder, Nivea's brightening powder. I don't know what it is about this one, but I think I'm gonna try the extra brightening one. The pink one, Amit's setting up for date night, so I'm gonna try the pink one instead of the slightly less pink one tomorrow onwards and see if that works. My face routine is these three things here. 1, 2, 3. And according to smell, this one smells the most funky, this one smells medium funky, and this one has no fragrance at all. On all days, I can use this one. On some days, I can add this one in. And on very rare days, I add this one as well. My sunblock is also apparently not safe, so I don't know what to do about that. I have been trying not to use the sunblock for a few days actually. My skin's already gotten worse. I wear a hat when I go out into the sun, but that's still not enough. So I need to find new skincare products.
Okay, then the video so this is the heartbeat lah. So it's one lah. Can you hear?
Yeah. We're at the end of week 7 and
They're gonna wrap something in full.
no. We're at the end of week 7 and we just went for a very delayed ONG appointment with SGH because our doctor was on leave. And we got to see
It's babies
again. 1.45 cm long, tall,
I guess.
big.
Yeah. Wide.
And the heartbeat is 153 BPM, which is good. I'm very nauseous.
Not so good.
These are my anti-nausea bands that apparently press on a particular nerve that alleviates nausea that does not seem to work.
I didn't even know you were putting it in the right position.
I don't know.
Waiting for 3 hours? It was 2 hours at first. Then another hour.
A long ass wait.
Yeah. It's a really, really long wait. But every time I get to see this little babies, it feels great. It feels so much more real when I just see it.
I'm still not sure whether to go to Melbourne or not. I will be going a week from now, which would be week 8, week 9. That's supposedly the worst time for the symptoms.
I was also concerned about this, but my instinct told me that she should go so that she can get a change of like view. Things don't seem so dreadful.
Just be nauseous in a different country.
Yeah, you know, at least she'll be around like friends that she misses and stuff like that. So would be good for her. But it is like concerning for me to leave her alone. But she won't be alone. She'll have friends.
Who don't know that I'm pregnant yet.
Yeah.
Well,
But I trust if push comes to shove, you'll tell them and
I am gonna tell them that, but it's just that
Yeah.
I'm not preparing them for what may come.
Right. But I trust Grace and Sarah and Wilson will take very good care of you.
I believe so too.
And I think Ryan will help too.
I've been having a bunch of bad days. Not extremely bad, like the first time I complained about it, but just bad enough to not be myself. And I just wanted to say that I feel great tonight. I didn't think I would feel great tonight, but I ended up feeling great tonight. So I just want to treasure this moment. It is week 7, day 6, and I'm feeling great tonight. My blood sugar not feeling so great though. I had 2 snacks which I thought were quite far apart from each other before dinner, but when I tested my blood sugar before dinner time, it was 11.4 when it was meant to be around 4.4 to 5.5. So that's not great, but the 2-hour after reading was fine for my standards. Still not non-diabetic standards, but how can you expect a diabetic to have non-diabetic standards of blood sugar? Yes, and so I shall stay up a little bit and enjoy my good night. Just now I decided to have dinner, some unsuspecting ramen for the first time in weeks, since nausea, you know. And halfway through I didn't feel very good eating the ramen, and I hate wasting food. On a normal day, if I wasn't pregnant, I would just finish it anyway, feel a little bit bloated and just move on. But this time I felt like if I was that little bit bloated, if I had one more bite, it might just cause a nausea spiral. So I decided to just leave the food there and waste it. Who am I? Who am I becoming? But I think it was the right choice. I can still taste the ramen on my breath even though I've brushed my teeth. So maybe I need to scrub my tongue again. I can't believe ramen is something I might not be able to take. So last night I forgot to take the diclectin. Holy shit. And I was so worried about living today because I was gonna have board games with friends and it was gonna be a long night. I'm happy to say that I wasn't as nauseous as the days before I took diclectin, but I was still feeling uncomfortable. Slightly nauseous, just not too much. The other thing I realized though is that diclectin is not the thing that's making me extra sleepy. I was still sleepy, so it just means that I'm just this level of sleepy at this point in time. And the diclectin doesn't add to my drowsiness, but it does alleviate a little bit of nausea. So I will continue taking it every single day, I guess, until I think it's safe enough, until I don't even have to take the Preggy Pop drops or the sour plums or every other thing that I had in my arsenal that I took today. I had 2 Preggy Pop drops and I think 2 or 3 sour plums. I was a little suspicious trying to do cyclogest in another person's house, but I always just tell them it's a medication for yeast infection. I think a lot of people don't really know about yeast infections, especially the men, so it was a good excuse. We took 10 extra coleslaws from the mothership party. This is what's stopping me from getting nausea from the hunger pangs. It took me a while, but I just realized that coleslaw is still a salad and I shouldn't be eating it. After a date night discussion, we decided maybe we're ready to tell our parents. And so told my mom 2 nights ago we wanted to tell her first because she's overseas and it would be like a little something special to be the first parent to know. And then we're telling my dad tonight at the Diwali party, like right when they leave, so that Marissa, if she hears it, she doesn't go around screaming or announcing it to the rest of the party. And then we're telling his parents tomorrow because we don't want them to be distracted from the Diwali planning and also just as a Diwali surprise. So this is pretty nerve-wracking. We didn't tell the parents previously because I didn't want all the extra advice for things we have to try to be more fertile. Because I've tried everything, I'm pretty sure that I would have already tried everything they're suggesting, barring the things I might not want to try, like foods that I really don't want to take. That's why we haven't told them yet, but since we're pregnant already, even though we're worried about still miscarrying, I think it's a good time to tell, at least. We're looking forward to parental support, like just emotional parental support, because I'm sure they'll be very excited to be first-time grandparent.
So I got on the flight and then I felt something trickling, like a period, and I was just hoping that was the leftover cyclogest from the morning. But then I went to the toilet and it was like a gush of blood, like a period, and I was freaking out. But what can I do? I'm not gonna get off the plane, so I asked for a pet, and I'm just gonna wait to go to Melbourne.
In Singapore, when we were waiting in line for the check-in, I waited a really long time to check in. And when I went to the counter, they asked, "Where's your visa?" And I was like, shit. So I went to apply for my visa right away, and it took so long to come. The gate already closed, or like the counter closed, and I had to go hunt for the guy saying last call before I could actually get boarded to get checked in. Thank goodness, that was stressful. Okay, I'm in Grace's place now, finally. Just a recap, I bled the moment I boarded the flight, and that was really scary. And I decided that if I continued bleeding for the rest of the flight, I would go get a scan when I landed in Melbourne or like the morning after. If not, I'll just let it be and hope for the best. So I didn't really bleed for the rest of the flight. It was a little bit of stale blood, so that relaxed me a little bit. But while I was on the Sky Bus, I felt something trickling down again, and now that I just checked, it is also stale blood, so I think I will not go and check. I think I'm fine. I've made it to the end of month 2. Because of this sleep, I will wake up tomorrow in week 9. And I'm happy to say that the worst week was week 6, and it is so far behind me. I'm very happy that the past 2 weeks have been better, and I've been able to celebrate Diwali and do everything else that I want to do. And I really hope that week 9 and 10 are kind on me, and of course the rest of the pregnancy. Technically, I still don't know if we made it past month 2 because I didn't go get a scan. But in my current realm of knowledge, we have made it past month 2. We just hope that the baby is okay. There hasn't been any more bleeding today, so that's a good sign. My next scan will be when I go back to Singapore in week 10. So more updates then, unless I bleed again and it's even more worrying. See you in the next vlog.